Okay, hello and welcome back to the Don't Ask Questions podcast, a podcast where we, and this is true, question everything and maybe give advice. That is in no way serious. So if you follow it, that one's on you guys. That was pretty good.
Yeah, well prepared.
It's a good intro.
I came prepared this time, guys. I know the past couple times it's been pretty spotty, but don't worry, we nailed it this time.
We have it down.
We've got, well, calm down. But today, this one time we've been put together.
So can we expect this from you in the future, or is this a one-hit wonder?
Well, I could just repeat this intro every time. Right?
Yeah.
And then we have like a pattern, stability. And people hate change. So if I kept mixing that up, you know, I'm here crumpling the intro in my hands. So
now you need to say it every time.
Okay,
you'll get better.
I'll just uncrumple that and put that to the side. There we go. Word for word next week.
Yeah.
Verbatim.
Yeah. You'll have it memorized by some point.
Well, calm down.
No, I think so.
Well, will we do this long enough?
Yes. It'll be robotic at one point.
Perfect. If you had one shot, one opportunity to see everything I think you ever wanted, would you capture it? Or just like let it slip?
What a transition. See, I thought first you were going to quote Eminem.
That is Eminem.
That's what you did.
And then hold on. And then I thought you were quoting Brave. and then I was like, no, it's definitely Eminem.
At what point is Brave?
I couldn't remember what Eminem says fully because you went off for a bit, and then I thought, like, do you know what I'm talking about? The Brave trailer where they're like,
that sound like
one chance to, I can't do a Scottish accent, but if she says essentially, if you had one chance to change your fate.
Would you?
And then I don't know what line you said. And
the
then
beginning.
I was like, no, that's Eminem. No, there's something you said, and then I was like, no. I went on a roller coaster for a while, and I was like, if she was going to quote Brave, I feel like she would have done the accent.
I commit.
When I think of a Scottish accent, I think about the one Vine. Which one of you took a shit?
Oh,
disgusting.
I'm singing Cher Lloyd by Cher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, disgusting.
Oh, it's such a good.
I miss
such
that
quality content.
Just that whole vibe, that general vibe. That was
the
cool.
Chaotic energy. Did you know like the one girl that actually did take a shit in the toilet confessed?
Yeah,
I heard that. Yeah.
It was me.
'Twas me.
'Twas I who shat in the toilet.
Why is it Shakespearean now?
I don't know. Because everything should be Shakespearean.
Well, should it though?
Yeah.
Even other languages?
No.
Can you simplify what you mean?
Like,
because a lot of the times if you read older books,
I don't read. I can't read.
But if one were to read other books in other languages that were dated, they would speak very differently. Like every single language has older versus newer.
Yes, I mean, but Shakespearean specifically, just translated into like Italian. Que cosa?
They do that.
Don't they?
It's written in English. It doesn't.
Do you know how people translate things into other languages? Is that what you're confused about?
No.
Here's this thing. There's people who don't
No. I'm gonna put a stop to this. We're gonna put that in a box, right?
And we're just gonna in another box.
No, we're not gonna do that. It's not in First New Groove. Get out of here. We're gonna set it on the fire, and we're gonna spread its ashes, and it's done. It's dead now. We lived a good life. But it's gone.
Did you guys hear the theory that Shakespeare is gay?
That would
No.
explain a lot.
He has a what?
What is that?
Gay.
Bro, every time we read anything Shakespeare, the only thing we ever focused on was what characters were gay.
Listen,
There was a lot of homoerotic subtext, but
And it
Doesn't-
that doesn't mean the author was gay. It just means he.
get
It's
away.
a recurring. It's a debate. Like it's.
His wife's
like,
name was Anne
people-
Hathaway.
Yeah, but okay,
Yeah.
but you can have a wife and still be gay.
Mhm.
That's
Yes,
not
we
that,
can, but
that's not
there's-
proof against like.
But he also wrote a lot of like sonnets that were heterosexual in nature.
You could just
But-
replace.
There was that
someone
one
else.
sonnet everyone used to read in grade school where he's talking about how his girl is ugly.
If I were to compare you to
Yes,
a
but
summer's
he still
day,
talks about how
Like
much he loves
wire.
her.
Hmm.
And it's sweet, but also like if I was the person who that was addressed to, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, I don't care how much you love me. Why would you describe me like this? It's so mean. It's so mean, but I know what he's talking about. He's trying to exemplify that he loves her despite the fact that she's not conventionally, beautiful or whatever. But why you gotta do that? It was like
Okay.
that one YouTuber. I'm so sorry. I will let you divulge into the gay theories, but there is this one YouTuber who I hate this genre of prank. Okay, I don't like prank YouTubing very much to begin with. It's not my
Okay.
thing. But this one is just nasty. So there's like pranks of guys who will be complete douches to their girlfriends.
how do they have girlfriends?
Why do they have girlfriends?
How?
Oh, I don't know.
How do
That's-
they
I
find
don't-
people who are willing to date?
But there's one trend in particular where this guy, he was in the car with his girlfriend and he's telling her like she's ugly.
Oh,
Like he's like, you're just like
Straight up.
like he started off talking about some girl he saw, I think, and
Oh, I
she's
saw
like,
this.
she's
It was
she's
so
really
bad.
pretty, like unlike you. And the girlfriend's like, what? And he's like, well, yeah, you thought you were pretty. And she's like, what is happening? And he's like, well, you're not like what conventionally beautiful is. Like you're okay looking, but I wouldn't say you're beautiful in any stretch of the imagination. And then this guy like turns it on her because she gets upset, obviously, like someone you
yeah.
love telling you this, and she starts like tearing up, and he's like, oh, like why would that even matter to you? Like, are you that shallow that you care so much about your looks?
Oh,
And I was like, and you know what that is? Because then after she started crying, like obviously
yeah.
she storms out. They're in like the car.
Valid.
She storms out, and he's like, oh, it was a joke, it was a prank. The way he said it was not a prank. Like, I feel like she's a very pretty girl. Like, just disclaimer, she's a gorgeous girl. Like, it wasn't warranted, but he was probably like, I don't know, he just probably thought these things beforehand or something, or like animosity was building towards her. And you could tell like he wasn't kidding. Like at the end, he was like, oh, it was a joke. But some of the things he said, you were like, okay, you're saying that a little, like with a little too much conviction.
Mm.
So
I'm
not related to Shakespeare, but it just reminds me of that, like, oh, but I like you
Yeah.
because you're funny, but you're hideous. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, I've said it once, said it 1,000 times. Men are trash. Do away
So-
with them.
Okay, so I'm looking at Wikipedia, so it's not the.
Oh, perfect sources.
Yeah.
My most trusted ones.
So some scholars have argued that he was actually bisexual. That was
Sure, I'll
yeah.
give him that.
what's the
Um,
proof?
So here it is. You know the one the sonnet we were talking about, shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
Mhm.
Apparently it has a lot of puns relating to homosexuality. And some people just make the assumption that it's actually addressed to a man, not a woman.
Sure.
Do you have
So-
an example of the puns?
I
Yeah,
don't.
could you actually examine and
possible attraction
explain?
to men. Give me a second to read this.
It's like one of those quote tests from high school.
Oh my gosh.
You're just like, where was it? Who was it about? Who was it said to? And what does it mean?
I
5
just,
marks.
like, why do we have
So-
to know when it
I kind of liked
who
it.
said it?
It's kind of
Yeah.
fun.
I did too.
So apparently 126 of his poems are addressed to somebody, a young man known as the Fair Lord or the Fair
Ooh.
Youth.
Ooh.
So it's assumed to be Mr. WH,
Ooh, what a fancy
which
lad.
is so it's assumed to be the same person as Mr. WH, which is like who he dedicated some of his sonnets to. But nobody actually knows who it is.
Ooh.
But it could be Henry Wriothesley. The third
Ooh.
Earl of Southampton.
Ooh, the third.
Yeah. Or
Southampton.
William Herbert, the third Earl of Pembroke.
Ooh,
Both
another
of whom are
third.
considered handsome in their youth.
All these handsome boys.
Yes.
Interesting.
So yeah,
That's fun.
that's a
I
fun
love
little
I love
tidbit
it.
of information.
I love it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like fun facts. Like
I can tell. It's
it ends
clear.
up being part of our podcast, which makes me happy.
I thought that this whole podcast just made you happy.
It does. It does. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking to you guys.
That makes one of us.
Thanks. I should hope so by this point.
We've been friends
like-
for how long?
Yeah, but like
This is a bad time to say.
No, well, we don't get to talk as much now that we all go to like different schools and stuff. Other than like we go to the same city, but
Yeah.
like
I
all
live with
four of
you,
us,
but I guess we don't
yeah.
talk as much.
Yeah, but like it's all four of us. We don't get to talk as much, and we don't get to like hang out. And then at Christmas, it's like, oh, there's so much information about all of our lives that we want to share. But
That's true. I do miss a lot of the great stories
yeah,
that happened to me. But
yeah. So like a lot happens in 4 months.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
4 months
Not
easy.
anymore.
Well, not with that attitude.
We gotta make a lot happen in 4 months.
I got a basil plant. It's dying now.
Also, apparently basil plants, they need like wind or a breeze or something, or else they die.
Oh, I
blow
gotta
on
breathe
it.
on it.
So if you have like a vent, I don't know,
No, you just need Mariana's kiss of
something
breath
that
of air.
creates the breeze, you should put it
A gentle kiss to bring it to life.
There you go.
Okay, I'll
Just
keep that
open the
in mind.
window.
Why do you know this? I didn't tell you about my basil plant. You just know a lot about basil?
Oh yeah, because over the summer I had like my mom and I grew a whole bunch of stuff in our backyard, and basil was one of them. And then we were talking about like what we can grow inside and like when we should start growing things. Anyway, I know a lot about really specific vegetables and herbs. So
Mhm.
That's like that Taken quote. You know,
What?
the one I have I have a very specific skill set.
Oh.
Oh, Taken.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I did not. I
You have no ears.
misheard you. I misheard you. Liam Neeson.
We also have
always
a
in, like,
parsley
Texas.
plant. And
Do you
a
remember
mint
when we
plant.
watched that in math, Joanna?
Yeah.
And it was
Because
like,
in Taken 2, there's some scene where the daughter because her parents
They're
are
on the
kidnapped and
phone.
they're in Istanbul, and she gets on the roof and she throws bombs, and he hears them, and she judges the amount of seconds between when she threw and he heard it to find the distance. And that's
yeah.
fine. That's a cool trick of math. My thought is, are the people of Istanbul like just fine with there being bombs? Because they're like,
I don't think
there's
they were
no
big.
reaction to them.
I think they were more like fireworks.
Or
Or
were they
something.
flares?
I think it was
It was a
something
very loud
small.
sound.
It was
It was a
loud,
very-
but it wasn't like a
danger.
large visual thing, I think.
No.
Mm.
I can't remember, but it was loud
Maybe
enough
rather.
that like he heard it from like a lot of
Wherever he was.
So yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun. Those movies are like my mom's worst nightmare in the world. Cause I'll tell her, I'll be like, when I'm older, I'm gonna go back home by myself. And she's like, do you watch Taken? Do you watch Taken? She's like,
Could happen.
do you think we can be Liam Neeson? Do you think we have those abilities? I'm like, no, I don't. But I don't think this will happen to me. She's like, mm-hmm. Do you know how many times this happens to girls who travel alone? I'm like, how many?
mean,
Yeah.
No, I
Like-
think that.
But it is a fair fear to have. I do
Yeah.
get it. But my mom loves to cite that movie. That's her like.
I mean,
That's the movie.
it's a true story, isn't it?
Is it? Based
I
on a
don't
true
know.
story? Okay, I
I
don't know.
don't
But it
know.
does happen. Like girls do get kidnapped
Yeah.
traveling abroad. So it's any parent's fear.
My mom was worried I would get kidnapped walking across the park to the library near my house. So she would get my brother to come with me, which doesn't really make sense because at the time my brother was a full head shorter than me and he's also younger than me and he's also a small child. So I was like, how does him being with me really help me to not get kidnapped at this
Testosterone.
point?
I mean, 2 kids are harder to wrangle than 1.
I guess.
Okay. So technically, it is based on a true story.
Taken?
So yeah.
Well, I guess I only tell truth then.
So it's actually about like William G. Hiller, which
Oh, the guy who Shakespeare wrote sonnets about. Oh, I see. He's the 3rd Earl of.
no, I
The
think
fair
he's like
lord.
the writer,
Yeah,
creator,
wow.
or whatever.
Small world, small world.
He's a self-proclaimed counter-terrorism expert and claimed the
never
movie
a
was
good
based
sign.
on his
Proclaimed.
life and events that resulted in his daughter being taken and killed. He spent 12 years offering talks to the likes of the FBI, but was later convicted of wire fraud when it emerged he'd never served in the U.S. Army.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So,
I wasn't ready for
My
that.
mom will hear this and be like, I told you so. I told you so. And
okay.
now I cannot rebut it because she'll be like, well, it was Shakespeare's lover's daughter.
I can't believe that's so.
That is very sad though.
Oh.
That is very sad.
Death? That's.
It was like
Oh.
fun
roller
fact
coaster.
and then not so fun fact.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm
heavy
like-
air.
Go out.
I'm like reading top 10 fun facts
That's not a
Fun
fact.
facts.
about
What number is that?
that's number 1.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. I didn't know where it was gonna go, but 1 seems fair.
Taken cost $25 million to make.
Sure. How much did it gross?
It's a pretty successful movie.
$226 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
A profit was made.
Yes. Well, you gotta do the present value to find out.
Didn't have to do that. You did not have to. That was
There was actually an
not
example in one of my business classes of like
about Taken
not Taken specifically. It was
movies.
it was a specific movie and it was like really high gross. It's like one of the top grossing movies of all time. Kind
Avatar.
of thing.
Titanic.
I don't think it was. Oh,
James Cameron.
Possibly-
Just James Cameron.
possibly Titanic.
Jazz.
But basically, it went way over budget, like the movie, and the whole point of the lesson was to teach us that like budgeting matters and like you have to follow a budget and make sure your budgets are accurate. However, Titanic was a really bad example of this because it went way over budget, but then they still made back profit plus more. So it's like, well, choose a movie that went way over budget but was like super unsuccessful, and then use that as an example. So that was my.
I mean, your
I
examples
don't-
are just pretty bad in all your classes, I feel like.
Oh yeah, like I don't know what it is with my profs this semester. They're just not
You're just
great.
like it's just not on the ball.
Is there a specific example that you've had?
Yeah, I
We
mean,
talked
there's
about-
several, but
Yeah, we talked about harassment, and that was just a rough class.
those
In
are rough
general.
one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Like workplace harassment?
yeah, because I'm taking an HR course this semester, and so like it was it was basically like about workplace harassment and what it means, and then we did a case study, but the case study wasn't very well written, and then it left a lot of room for like interpretation, and then a lot of the guys in the class like didn't interpret it the correct way, and then the prof didn't correct them, and so I was there trying to like be like harassment still exists, guys, but it's on Zoom, right? So I'm trying not to interrupt the professor as he talks. So I'm like just waiting for an opportunity to just press spacebar and be like,
Actually,
people are still struggling with this a lot. So yeah.
I had my first breakout room experience. I didn't even know the way that my lectures were sort of broadcasted. Didn't know it was a thing until I was put in one, and I wasn't prepared. It was just the four of us sitting on mute until like the professor came by and was like, "Why is everyone muted?" And I was like, "Don't make me do this." And it's just like, "Can anyone hear me?" And I was like, "Please don't make me do this." She's like, "Hello," and I unmuted myself. And I was like, "Oh, so sorry. I was just grabbing breakfast." A complete lie, but it was also early in the morning, so I hadn't spoken to anyone. So I had that morning voice, so it just sounded like I was sick. And I was just like, "Oh, so sorry. We're just like, yeah, doing the questions ourselves, and then talking about our answers, but we're all good over here." It's terrible. I also like there were two people on that breakout room. I had no idea who they were. Didn't recognize the name. I don't I don't know who these people were. Didn't even know they were in my program. Maybe they could be not be, but
Do you know everyone in your program?
for the most part, I can see
That's
that.
why it's weird for you.
Yeah, for because I'm a class of 60 or so.
Yeah.
I know at least 10 people. I think maybe less have dropped since coronavirus.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I know like 10 people at least in my program, maybe less.
No, I know that they've dropped, but I know I don't personally know them, but I know their names. Like, we're a pretty tight knit group. I sometimes we would celebrate with sushi. So
Cute.
yeah,
Solid.
I mean, yeah. It was just us on a very long table, and it was just we took a photo, and you're like, well, no one sees me, but whatever. It's not like I'm the star.
And everyone says that about group photos of them. They're like, you can't. There's only like two people you can actually really see in a group photo, especially on a table, and it's just the two people right at the beginning, and everyone else is just there.
Yeah. No, but they like group photos. They like tracking our progress. They're too into it. They're all so happy. It's quite frankly not it.
You're not here for it.
I'm just like, come on, just struggle like the rest of us.
Every time I go into a breakout room, I meet somebody I don't know. It's
disgusting.
Yeah.
Meeting people in this day
I don't
and
know
age?
Anybody. Today I had to go into a breakout room just to do whatever in class activity, and the guy it was just me and one other guy, and he was making fish, and he's like, "Sorry, I'm making fish right now. Do you know what's going on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I generally do."
No.
So I was explaining what we were supposed to be doing in this breakout room, and then we did it, and he's like, "Oh, great, thanks."
Was he just making fish the whole time though?
Yeah.
Perfect.
He didn't stop or anything. He just kept
My
making
guy
fish.
has priorities.
It's also a 4 o'clock class, so I guess if you want to marinate stuff and whatever, it's a good time to start prepping your food. But
I went into a breakout room, and I had to go in twice in one class, and the first time everyone was actually trying to answer, and the second time one guy was like, "So not gonna lie, I totally zoned out through that whole last bit," and the rest of us went, "Okay, good, cause same," and then we all proceeded to just not talk. And he's like, "I'm gonna go back to my nap," and then we were like, "Okay, that's fine." So I literally just was on my phone for the next 10 minutes of that, and we were like, whatever.
So yeah, I guess I'm the only one, because out of nowhere, my professor was just patrolling it.
Oh well, that happens in my labs. It doesn't happen in.
I guess it was a
lecture.
lab, but
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In my my computer science lab, it's just me and one other person. Neither of us are talking. We're both just doing the lab, and then the IA every once in a while will be like, "Hey, are you guys all right? Hey, have you guys finished?" And we're like, "Almost." And then
no, mine's the actual lab instructor. I mean, and then the second time the TA came by 5 minutes after and was like, "Any questions for me?" And I was like, "No." No, we're good.
So I don't have a breakout room story because
why would you?
yeah.
They're not very interesting.
No, but I do have this one story, and it was really awkward, and I got secondhand embarrassment from him, but I was also laughing, so I don't know what I was feeling. But basically, so I was in one of my lectures, and my professor's just talking, right? She's going through the concepts or whatever, and biggest fear in the world is I don't mute something. But usually if that ever happens, I don't see anything bad happening. Like maybe someone hears a ping from a notification. Joke's on you all. Nobody ever talks to me. But wow, outing myself. No, I'm kidding. But or it's like, I don't know, like me shuffling or like sneezing. Like it's nothing big. Like maybe worst thing, like I'm on Instagram or something and some video plays. I don't know, whatever. This time it was bad. So what happened was my prof's talking and this person didn't mute themselves, but their camera was off. So we couldn't see. But you know that thing when there's noise, it like shoots up top so everyone can see. So she's talking and it happened just as she was ending her my professor ended her sentence where this girl started screaming. Like from the top of her lungs screaming, or it was an animal scream, but not like it was close enough to a human. It was shrieking. I don't know what it was. She shrieks for about 3 to 5 seconds straight. There's a pause of silence, and then she swears really loudly.
Oh, no.
Maybe she spilled something on her laptop and then like
maybe she
around,
did that, and maybe
unmuted herself and then like didn't notice because of the thing that had spilt.
I have no idea what happened. I don't know what she was screaming for, but she swore super loudly and super clearly, like just one exclamation, right?
Every word is a gem.
Every word is a gem. And everyone who had their video on is just like trying not to laugh. Because it was crazy. And so the professor she stops. She's like, hello? She goes close. She goes, hello? 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 Nothing. This girl muted immediately, but we all saw who she was because her name was visible.
Oh God.
And so the prof was like, I'm just going to continue now and pretend I didn't hear anything. It was really embarrassing. I felt bad, but at the same time, like what happened? I want to know because it was like horror movie scream, silence, swearing. That's it. That's all I got. That's like 3-second story right there. I don't know what happened.
That sounds really like awesome. Somebody spilled something hot.
And scream because of it? Maybe.
I would say it spilled something on the laptop. Because then there's more of a reason. Because I feel like if it's hot, you don't have that 1 second of, you know?
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
Spill, like try and like stop it. Once it stops spilling, then you swear.
Yeah.
You know?
But if it's hot, I would assume you're getting hurt. I feel like you're always like, beans, shoot.
Well, that's when you're screaming.
But it doesn't stay hot, right? Like it cools down fast, especially when it depends how much you spill, right?
Or maybe she swore because it got on the laptop.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know that a drink spilled.
It reminds me of
maybe her dog like pooed in her room or something. I don't know. There was no evidence whatsoever.
It reminds me of like those memes of like my prof sent me an email after our Zoom class. You know, and they're always like so outrageous. You're just like, why would you even what mind came up with this?
We encourage you to have your cameras on, but I noticed that you ate an entire cake in 6 seconds.
Are you okay?
I'm concerned.
I'm concerned because of the rate at which you ate this cake.
There's like this one guy in my class, same class, which is actually my only like Zoom lecture. I have tutorials too, but I mean, they're not as fun. But this lecture's crazy. So there was this guy and he always stands like power poses in front of the camera.
I think you told us about this.
Oh, maybe I told this story already. I did. But in class, that class is fun. We have a lot of fun.
A lot of characters.
And then last class too, I remember she always asks to put the Zoom camera on, and most people don't. But this time she started calling out people, so I literally joined it. And this is before class starts, but she dedicated 10 or 5 minutes. I can't remember how long.
Calling people out.
Like not like kind of. So she wanted, I guess, more engagement. So I log on and they're talking about going to the gym. she's like, well, like, does anybody know if the university gym's open? And people are talking, and as people are logging on, she'd be like, oh, not that this is a real person, but like Adam, did you go to the gym today? And like, oh, like Jonathan, did you go to the gym today? Whatever. Like, she would call people out. And I was like, oh, I really hope she doesn't get to me, because like 2 or 3 people before me, they were very actively talking about going to the gym for some reason. She was like, well, I'm trying to get everyone in this class to get up and move. Which is nice, which is
yeah,
reasonable.
you got
That-
to do that.
This
But-
goes back to episode 2, mandatory physical.
There you go. There you go.
Perfect.
And then
Try
I didn't
that.
think she was gonna call out on me, but she did. So she's like, she calls my name, and I just turn on my camera because she's like, where are you? And I'm just like waving like this, because she didn't ask me a question, and I was like, because other people did that. She'd be like, oh, blank, and then they would wave, and then she'd be like, oh, like, are you going to the gym? She didn't bother asking, I guess this time, because maybe she couldn't find me or something. I don't know what. But I had my thing on and I was waving like an idiot for 30 seconds like this. And she's like, I guess you don't want to. And I was like, no. And I was about to reach over because I'm like, this has gone on for too long. I'm looking down. So I was literally like this, like approaching the button. She's like, I guess you don't want to talk to me. Okay, next. And I felt so bad. I was like, no, I thought you would find me. I thought you were looking.
Oh.
I
You're
felt
probably
really bad.
on page 2, because there's like 2 pages in like a Zoom.
I
Sometimes.
know, but like I was really waving hard, and then
Yeah, but if she's in like gallery view and not active, like even if she was an active speaker, she wouldn't have.
But from precedent,
movement isn't
that's what
detected.
people were doing. That's just from precedent. They would wave first. She would ask them the question. They would unmute. They were answering. I thought that was the drill. It apparently was not. I feel bad. I didn't mean to. Like, I was reaching for the button. And
She
she
should have reached
have, like,
sooner.
Like 1 or 2 people in every Zoom lecture that actually participate, and there's like 48 other people that like aren't participating at all.
in my
Like,
lecture,
yes.
yes. In my tutorial, no, because we have to speak.
Yeah, tutorials are different.
But in lecture, yes.
It's really funny because that's the only names I know. Like, I don't know anybody else. It's just the 3 people. Whereas if it was like a real lecture, there's still only like 2 or 3 people that actually participate. But like, I don't know their names. I just know their face. Be like, that's the guy that talked a lot in my class. But now I just know their name, but not their face, because I don't even have their videos on.
I mean, my professors don't really ask for people to like, other than like if it's sometimes an example, but we don't really ever go through examples. So it's really just like, any questions about the material? No? Okay, moving on. And that's it.
My profs try to like engage everybody. They're like, oh, like, what do you guys think a target market is? And I'll be like, I think a target market is a market that you target.
That's actually one of my professors will ask questions, and then but he'll sometimes mix in with like rhetorical questions, because he'll ask a question and we'll be like, does he want an answer? And then but when he actually wants like an answer, he'll be like, okay, and I'm asking this to you now. And then he'll proceed to ask the question, and then he'll be like, I'm waiting for an answer. I won't move on until I get one. Yeah.
Natasha, your question and fake answer reminded me of when you were in like grade 10 business or something, or grade 9 business.
What is it?
Like, it was like, can a building be an asset?
It was, can a gift be an asset? Can a gift be an asset? And I said, if your parents are really rich and buy you a building.
And it was so funny because it was like, what does building mean? Does it mean just a hollowed out building? Is it an office building? What is it?
They're all assets.
They
building
are,
is an asset.
But you could have
So,
just
like,
said
it's
like
like-
a car.
A building is an asset, and it was like clearly defined in that chapter that a building is an asset. So I think it was just the first thing I thought of.
The amount of
Very
times you said a building is an asset, like I want to counter, like
Too many, I know, but
didn't think that was going to be the most common phrase.
That could be the
You
episode
turn
title.
16 and your parents buy you a building. You're like, honey, look outside. It's just a building, a giant ribbon on it.
No, but it's not. They don't have the building at. It's just like a cardboard
yet.
cutout of the building. They're like, we'll take you to it.
This is a building for ants.
Or they do that thing like you do with cars. You just give them like the key in a really nice box. But you couldn't tell it's like a building key because it just looked like a random key. Like with a car, you're like, oh, Toyota or whatever, right? But you wouldn't know.
A key to the house? You finally trust me with this?
At 16 years old, you finally trust me.
That's them telling you, get out.
It's
We don't want you living here anymore.
Actually,
No,
that's your new place. Have fun.
Yeah, no, it's like a key to the house, and it's like, you need to get out more because you spend so much time here that you haven't needed a key. Go make some friends.
That's me. What you've described as me. Except I wasn't offered a key.
We are your friends. You have friends.
But no.
You just don't want to hang out with us.
Yes. that was it.
Pretend like she doesn't hang out with us.
I hung out with you guys on many occasions, just not all of them. Many a time I've said no, and then just didn't. And I think it's very cool and sexy of me. I think I put who's number one? It's me. And I go, what do I want to do today? Not hang out with you guys. I'm here now.
You don't like us, but it was just like
what? No,
like
that's never been said.
No, but it's just that you didn't like what we were doing that day.
Yes. There's only a certain point where company can make things bearable. And sometimes that was not it. I was like, no. Nothing will top our escape rooms.
I miss them.
It was so much fun.
I miss Joanna sprinting and slamming the door closed on the poor worker who was gonna tell us that we were given extra time.
Like, guys, get in there. I'll hold the door.
Like, I don't know what you thought was gonna happen.
I don't know. That was years ago.
It was an establishment.
I just miss that whenever we did escape rooms, Mariana and I would do nothing except like one or two crucial clues at the end. We would play with every single thing in the room. Like,
do you remember
how kids, how kids have birthday parties and they go to like indoor playgrounds or something? Mm-hmm. That was our indoor playground.
Yeah. Do you remember when the one in the dark where they were trying to figure out like the boat puzzle or something? You shone your light on me and I was on a kid's rocking horse laughing and crying.
Yeah. That was the most horror movie-esque moment of my life. Like, if you were just like covered in blood or something, that's a horror movie right there.
Yeah.
Trailer shot. No, I remember that. And I had some like stuffed animal. There was a satchel in the room because it was supposed to be like a father's room and his clothes were there, and I obviously put them on and dressed up like him in a satchel. And then there's also stuffed animals, so I elected to choose to put the stuffed animals in the satchel and walk around with them because clearly I was a big team player. I was clearly contributing.
The best part was on those animals was the key.
Yeah. The whole time everyone's like, where is this key? It should be here. And I'm just playing with them and I'm like, guys, don't be mad. And it's right here.
You're gonna love this.
They were mad.
Or like, but it's funny because you would also accidentally find things just because you would mess with everything. So you'd be like, oh, hey, look, I found something.
So really, I was the best person to have because instead of just everyone else finding the clues, I just played with everything and eventually I'll find something.
There was that one time
I'll tell you where this. Huh?
There was that one time you messed up the puzzle though.
Oh yeah.
The chest rat.
Yeah.
You messed that up with me. Don't you sit there and blame this on me, okay? Because you and I
was spurred on by you,
which was nothing.
Yeah, no, I
No,
agree.
you messed that up with me. We were playing chess against each other, and the chess sets were in crucial parts. But I'll tell you where this downfall came from. I'll tell you where I fell from a place on high to what I do now. It was our first escape room.
Mm,
Okay,
remember it
and
well.
there was some task where you had to, I think we were given latitude and longitude coordinates, and we had to find the name associated with them, something like that. Like it was a puzzle piece that was left towards the end.
I think it was like a 4-letter word that we were looking for. I think in the end, like
Well,
that
it was
was
like you were supposed to collect one set of like coordinates in each room, and then in the
Yes.
last room was a bunch of maps, and you're supposed to like
Uh-huh.
use each one. But we were like on the first room, we were convinced that the longitude and latitude were needed to be used.
Well, because we
Because
were given an atlas.
Yeah,
yeah,
because here's the
and that was
thing.
the only clue we got.
Here's the thing to explain to the listener. So the first group, so the theme was the Dracula's like lair, mansion, castle, whatever. So Dracula lived. And the first room was like an office with a library. So we're given these coordinates, and we were given somehow through instructions or through interpretation to look at an atlas through them.
Well, it
So
was
I
there was a
obviously-
bookshelf, and it was like the only actual book on the bookshelf or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had the encyclopedias.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Eh.
we so my natural judgment was, okay, I have a latitude and longitude, I have coordinates, navigational, I have an atlas, I will match them to where they are in the atlas. And I don't know what I was trying to do with that, but I kept finding it landed on Krakow, Poland. Krakow, Poland, Krakow, Poland. And I'm like, guys, where the hell does this city go? I don't know. And for the longest time, I'm just running around like, look, it's here and it's in this one too. Guys, I backed this up. Just tell me what to do. It had nothing to do with Krakow, Poland.
Nothing.
I
Nothing.
put
It
in
was a
so
mislead.
much hard work for nothing.
It was
And
like
from that moment on, I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. I love escape rooms. I love how they're fun. I do like the puzzles. Now I'm just sounding like I'm a schmuck and I just sit around and do nothing. I do sometimes contribute, but it is also so much fun to look through all the random stuff they have there. It brings me a lot of pleasure.
we should make an escape room. Krakow, Poland is the
shit.
theme. Chess.
Now,
is
every time I
there.
hear Krakow, Poland, beautiful city, by the way, gorgeous city, one of the nicest in the world, I get a little bit like,
Yeah,
uneasy,
yeah,
because that
upset.
puzzle piece never fit in.
yeah. You're just like unreasonably mad at it. Like
Yeah.
the whole city. You're just like, why do you exist?
And it is not to their fault, but rather.
No.
Just the escape room.
But I do love escape rooms. They are a lot of fun.
Yeah. We've spent a lot of time talking about escape rooms now. They are fun. Would recommend post-COVID to all our
Mhm.
listeners, go find your local escape room and
Mhm. Support local business
mhm.
and just like have fun. Get two of your smartest friends and two of your most chaotic friends and go. Because there was this one room where you started off in separate rooms. And I don't know if you've picked up on this yet, listeners, but there's a bit of a friendly rivalry, I guess, between me and Joanna. And they placed us in different rooms. And the point of it was like you were two different teams trying to get onto this like research expedition or something. So you could either work together once you got to the main room, or you could be apart. And what we were doing, we were working together. And then right at the end, I solved my side of the puzzle first, and I went to my teammate and I said, we could lock them in. We could just go. I also think I stole some of your evidence or like your next key.
It was something where like I realized this betrayal, you didn't get the chance to lock us.
No.
Because I smelled the suspicion off of her.
No, I was way too
I knew
excited.
the look in her eye, the glint.
There was also like when we were in the separate rooms, we could hear each other talking. And I think at one point, both of us went, no, shh, what are they saying? What are they saying?
Yeah. But I realized it at the end because it was something like I had to open a box to get into another box that had a possession. And I don't know what it was that gave it away. It might have been the second box was already unlocked.
I think that was it.
Something like
I
that.
think that was it. And I opened it and I was like, this is already open. Who opened this? And I look over to Mariana and she's just sitting there looking at me and like cackling. And I'm like, you know what? I was ready to end the friendship right there. I was like, you know what? You can walk home tonight. Like, I don't know. Like, I was pissed. So snakish of you.
But you know, if we were on the same team, we would have left the others in.
I know we would have, and that's the worst part. We would have.
We would have absolutely locked them in the room.
Yeah, I know. We're bad like that.
Whoopie ad.
That's why we split them up.
Yeah, that's why it's better to split us up, because when you put two chaotics together,
You
there's
get an
order.
evil.
There's order.
No.
No.
There's an order in a way.
It's more like,
Okay,
you know, when
I
you
think-
have like a flame and you put another flame with that flame and it just makes a really big flame.
Yeah.
More like
For a
that.
second, I thought you were gonna go with you have a flame and you have like a hairspray.
That's what we are.
Joanna,
I
who's
am
the
the
flame?
flame.
Yes, am I the hairspray?
You're the hairspray. That would be how we would, describe ourselves. But it was just like in the other ones, I think Marianne and I would just play with things together, like 6-year-olds. Like we would find like a toy rabbit or something,
Yeah.
and like I don't know.
I either would try hard at the beginning and then eventually just like lose interest,
Your mind.
or right at the end I would come in clutch.
They're so much fun. I miss them.
Yeah. One of my uni friends wants to do it, and I was like, oh yeah, for sure. But then I was like, no one's here actually. Everyone's at home. Like no one came back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's gonna be hard to do it now too, because they're gonna have to disinfect everything, and I touch everything, and
You really do.
I shouldn't, and then I'll feel bad if I do. So then
Maybe it
loses
will
the
help
enjoyment.
you.
I wonder if there's like online escape rooms, and I wonder if they're
It
fun.
definitely works. Do you remember that iPhone game or that app or whatever where it was just like 100 rooms or something, and it was like an elevator?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like a little
It's probably
puzzle.
more like that. Yeah, and it was a puzzle each floor.
I know there's like a card game version of escape rooms.
A card
but
game?
So basically you start out with like however many cards and they give you instructions on how to set it up, and then like they're all numbered. So say you are on like card 13, and then if you figure out like what you need to figure out, then it'll lead you to like card 7, and then card 7 will lead you to card 51, and then eventually, and there's also like an app too.
Oh.
And that's where you actually do like all your puzzles. And then with that, you go through the whole game and you eventually accomplish whatever goal you're supposed to accomplish.
I mean, there's definitely like video games that have the concept, but you can't quite encapsulate the escape room feel, because that's just you just nothing can emulate Krakow, Poland. Like you can't be led astray in a video game so far. You'll get stuck, but you won't be like going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I found a couple that are online. They look interesting. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like they know how to make an escape room, right? So it's they make
But I
it like,
can't
really...
play with things.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
that's
like me and
the
Joanna
step, because
like,
sometimes
leave
I
the
produce
group.
results from doing things like that.
Do you guys remember? Oh, it was a TVO kids game where it was like you had to solve
Yes.
like a bunch of puzzles
That
to
one was
like
really
figure
fun.
out. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I just remember they
No.
changed TVO Kids, so I wouldn't be able to find it again. But it was a really fun game
Those are
where it's like
really
you just kind of solve a series of puzzles and then you get to the end of the game.
You would like toggle between a few rooms, and you would have to find a key at the end.
Mhm.
But it would be like you have to pick up like
Oh, you
little
mean
clues.
TVO Kids like games or something?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought you thought this was like a TV program, and I was like, how did they do this? Like,
No.
No, it's like Dora where she's
Or, like,
figuring it out
clues,
for you.
You're like, where is the key? It's
No.
not over there.
Did you guys watch
No,
the
it's not.
live action movie?
No, I didn't.
No.
It is okay, so I only watched it because I do have
What
a
younger
5-year-old and a 4-year-old
Oh,
that I
okay.
was babysitting, and that's what we put on. And we were watching it, and it's actually kind of funny because there's one point where, so it's live action, right? And she's a teenager, and not to spoil it for anyone, spoiler alert ahead, but like her parents get kidnapped and she has to go and find them.
What if I wanted to watch this?
And
Well,
I'm not
I
gonna
think you
spoil
still
all of it.
could.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but they disappear and she goes after them, right? With like a group of so with her cousin Diego and I think
Love
Boots?
Diego.
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 And sorry, you asked whose?
No,
No, I said Boots.
No,
Oh,
the monkey.
the monkey.
Boots is in there, I think. I think he was. And like two of their
He
high
better
schoolers
be.
who are really creeped out, like they don't know what's happening. And this one scene in particular is really even if you don't watch the movie, watch the scene. It's so funny because it's live action, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're in the jungle
Mm-hmm.
and they eat something and they start tripping out. And they start looking at each other and they all turn into the original cartoons.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, they trip out, like they have the actual animation. They don't understand what's happening. And then eventually they like sober up and they turn back into human form. But it is a very chaotic movie.
That sounds
That's interesting.
wild.
Sounds
Mhm.
fun. Sounds better than I thought it would be, honestly.
Honestly, it was.
Movie night. Let's watch Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, we're running low on time here.
Yeah.
So we should probably
Yeah.
wrap things
Wrap
up.
Thanks for joining again for the nth time. Keep it light and breezy, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Beautiful.
Breezy,
cover girl.
beautiful cover girl.
Maybe she's made what?
Maybe she's Maybelline.
But no, what's the first bit? Maybe
Is it maybe she's worth it?
No, maybe it's
It
natural.
wouldn't be
Maybe
maybe.
it's
oh maybe it's mental illness, isn't it?
Maybe it's
I think
It doesn't matter.
Maybe it's natural. Maybe it's Maybelline.
no. What makes it like maybe it's makeup or maybe it's Maybelline?
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe she's born with it.
Ah.
Yeah,
That's
this is like
maybe she's worth it. That's so mean.
maybe she's worth it. No, okay. Anyways, thanks for tuning in again.
Yeah.
Can't believe you've done this for again. The ones of you listening, very dedicated,
We love you all.
very
Catch
niche.
you on the flippity flop.
Catch you on the flippy dip. My goodness.
See you next time.
Bye.
Back.
Bye.
Remember, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Bye-bye.